In histories, Herodotus does put it clear to us that cities like Sparta, Athens were mostly ruled by two kings at the same time. I found that to be interesting because we are mostly used to a monarch, a single family monarch throughout like every. If you look at a certain kingdom, then you find that there is only one king and maybe a queen. But here is a situation that some of the Greek city-states used to have two kings that ruled at the same time. And so that the decisions were made like they had to have consensus between them to make especially critical decisions. But it also happened that there was always the more dominant king than the other, and the more dominant king made some decisions without consulting the other king. So Sparta was one such city-state. Sparta had two kings, and Herodotus does tell us how Sparta ended up with two kings. In another part of the book, he does mention that even Athens had two rulers. He doesn't call them kings, but rulers at the same time. But now he tells us that Sparta had two kings who ruled together. But the two kings were from the same family. And he goes on to tell us what happened that Sparta ended up with two kings. And he tells us the story of Aristodemus. Aristodemus was, according to the Spartans, what they used to say, he was a person who founded Sparta, the city and the kingdom. So they say that Aristodemus was the person who founded the kingdom, and he was the first king, and he ruled by himself as the king. But then uh, his wife, a lady by the name Agia became pregnant and gave birth to twins, two sons. And almost immediately after they had been born, Aristodemus passed on. He died. He died while these boys were very young. Now, the Spartans then found themselves with a challenge. According to the tradition that they had set, uh, most likely from where they'd come from and they were continuing it now in this new land, it was that the first son was supposed to be the king. Now, here was a situation where there were twins, and on top of that, these twins looked very much alike. They were of the same size, and it was so hard to tell one from the other. Now, after Aristodemus is died, now the Spartans said to decide who between these two boys was going to be the next king. And they go ask the mother, Agia, to tell them who was the eldest of the two, who was born first. And the mother tells them, I don't know. Even me, I can't differentiate the two boys. So then they decide to go to the to the oracle to find out what to do. And the oracle tells them, now, this is what is going to happen. The two boys are going to be kings, but let the elder one, have more powers than the other one. Now, that became a problem again because they still don't know who is the elder. Now, the oracle, yes, I say the two can become kings, co-kings basically, but the elder one should have more powers than the other one. But they don't know who is the elder. So they go and they decide what they're going to do. They're going to mourn it because they didn't trust the mother. They suspected that the mother knew who was older than the other. And indeed, she knew. The reason why she told them that she couldn't tell the difference between the two boys is because she was hoping that both of them would be made kings. That was her goal. So the Spartans decided to watch the mother to see if they notice that there is one that she bathes first and feeds first. Then they will determine if this is consistent. Then they will know that that's the firstborn. And that's what happened. They watched her and they realized that she was feeding one first and before the other, and that was consistent. And they decided that must be the firstborn. So they named the two boys. The eldest was named Aristhenes, and the younger was named Proclus. Now, the two were made kings, but Aristophanes was more dominant, had more powers than Proclus. And after they died, their families continuing holding these two positions. Like the family of Aristophanes continuing producing a king, and the family of Proclus continued producing a king. So Sparta ended up having two kings for a very long time. So in the next video, I'll tell you a story of how uh, the paternity of a reigning king was challenged because of the fighting between the two kings of Sparta.